So it's, it's for a 1982 Yamaha xs650. I haven't seen a whole lot of videos of the actual cases getting broke down and put back together, like at the cases fully being broken down and stuff. So I gotta throw a little video together, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it might help somebody out later down the road. Started off as 1982 Yamaha xs650 special, but I was an idiot, and what had happened was, on the original case that I had, I didn't count enough bolts and nuts combined together and forgot one hidden right over in here by where the dipstick would be. I didn't pull that out, and I went to pull the cases apart, and a jackass move cracked and took a chunk out of the case here. It broke my heart. So I didn't know what else to do, so I posted it on xs650 page on Facebook, how big of an idiot I am, and Michael Coffey from Voodoo Vintage got a hold of me and said he had a case that he would be willing to ship to me for a really good price. So he helped me out big time. Shout out to Mike, you're the man. So here we are. I got this in the mail. I have it vapor honed, and came out really well. And before I did, I pulled the old shift shaft bearing out, or I should say pushed it out. To get this bearing out, you gotta press it out or float it out, I guess. I'd rather press than float. Hitting it, I'd be afraid of cracking the case. Be extremely careful. So my father has a press, so we pressed this guy out and pressed it back in. It has to go this way, outwards to right there. Has to get pushed out from that way and put back in the same way it goes out. I use the shift shaft actually to push it back in, where we put it on the put the bearing on the end there and stuck it in there. It pretty much aligned itself for the most part when that it went in, and we pressed it in. Actually went pretty smooth. So I figured I'd snatch a video of me kind of putting the shift shafts back in, the shift forks, the oil delivery tube that goes in there, which also acts as a guide rail so they don't go twisting. I figured that maybe I might help somebody. I don't know. So when this sucker's all complete, it's gonna go on this guy right here. Shop's a little messy right now. Started off as a XS 1982 xs650 special. Just kind of slapped together right now. I went with a sporty tank, 12-inch apes, welded those on. I snatched up the last visual impact Bratz kit, welded that sucker all up, put that on there, cut the rear off. I put Honda Rebel shocks on it, 10.5-inch eyelet to eyelet, that went in there. And also it was posted a long time ago, but I ended up grabbing 2 packages of the 3.25-inch extended swing arm plates to extend the swing arm out up to 3.25 inches. I'll have to get a long chain and all that stuff, but stretched it out because my long ass legs sitting on that thing, the tire was literally right up my ass. So there she is. It'll go into that. I'm still not 100% on where I'm going to go with it until it starts getting all put together. So that's that. I might lower the front end a little bit, who knows. But the original portion of this video is going to be this guy. So over here, got some shift forks. Shift forks are labeled 1, 2, and 3. Get a little number on them, and that would be B1, 2, and 3. And as it sits right now, the way that it is the orientation of the shift forks is going to start from the shift shaft bearing, be 1, 2, and then 3. And you have the oil delivery tube, which delivers oil to lube up all the shift forks and everything, and also acts as a shift fork guide to help it from not twisting when the gears are being shifted and switched. There is a little notch right here. If my camera, there we go, little notch right there. That notch is going to be on this side of the case from that hole. So it goes in like that. So that's how I'm going to start it. I'll start by getting this started through here to a certain point there, and then I'm going to put the camera up here so you can see and document all this. So we got one. If you see, there's a little dowel. It's like a little dowel pin, set pin inside there. That little pin rides inside these grooves. When it's turned, puts it in the correct orientation it needs to be as it's being shifted. And there's also some cotter pins that will lock that dowel pin in place. So we have one which will be oriented inside there like this, facing this way with the fork open mouth part, and the guide rail, oil delivery tube will go through right in there. So that one goes there. Start off with this side, number 3, which will be in just like that. So we'll set that one in there. Then number 2 gets oriented facing towards the crankshaft right here. It's going to go in there like this. And it gets a little stiff and there's a little pressure in there. Pop that guy on there. And number 1, oriented the same way as number 3. Number 1. That's going to go just like that. And then I'm going to kind of gently wiggle and push this until the oil delivery tube goes into the hole on the side. And once that's in, it's actually, when everything's not flexing with all that pressure on it, everything slides pretty good. Oop, popped out. So after that's on, we have shift shaft right there. A little bearing on the inside of it. My bearing's still good, so don't need to change it. And on this, this machine spot here, that's where the neutral post, I guess you would call it, a little dowel pin, sits. So when you click it into neutral, it has that pop spot where you, it's just the neutral, this will pop inside and keep it locked in place. And you put it into gear, you push down, it pops out. But what we'll do is we'll install this with, there's a little circle at the top, right there. That would be facing upwards. Once you get it in there, you can turn it around the best way, or the way is best for you to get it in there, I guess. If somebody has any other way that's better, awesome. This is my first time, so I said I figured I'd just give somebody else a hand if they are curious about how this goes. So yeah, I'm gonna slide this guy in here. Just go through number 3, number 2, and flip this up. And number 1. The post goes right inside there. Yeah. So that's all locked in place where it needs to be. So there you go. Those are in. The next thing I'm going to do is, this is for neutral. This guy right here goes under the underside of the block. I'm sorry, the case. I'll show you. Just right in there. So how we're going to orient that one is, this goes in first, then the spring goes inside there. We're gonna, pop that guy in there like that, and put it in the neutral position. Sitting like this, we want that little circle right there. I'm going to turn that about right there. It'll be about neutral to the guide rail and delivery tube, which has a notch in it. And we'll show what that notch is in a second. We actually want that notch turned to about that position. There's no light in here. You see that notch? We want it to kind of face this bolt hole right here. So now I got this kind of where I want it. About right there. I'm going to put this guy in the bottom. Reset you back up here. You can see. And I'm going to take and slide that in there and try to push this up inside, then push it and screw it in. So that might be a little tricky being upside down like that. Stop. Alright. And there, just gotta screw it on. There we go. Now that's on there, inside there, in its home, in its groove. It actually locks this in place. So you can't be turned. Now you are in the neutral position. just like that. Just about that orientation. I believe the next thing I'm gonna do is those little dowel pins. I'm gonna take and push those in to the grooves where they need to go. With everything in there. And get that all set. Grab these just in case I need this. Alright. Let's get these pushed down there. Use. Place. Do the next one. And I'm only using this just to push that. It's got that curve in it, so it's so I can push that pin where it needs to go. Yep, there it is. It's there. I'm just gonna put this in. This guy's going to be a little tricky. Take drop it in there, of course. This guy gave me a hard time when I was putting it in, taking it apart. That one. Oh. These are my dowel pins a little long. Or my this guy right here. I'll have to bend that one over. Just a little bit longer. Comes in. The next one. In place. So next what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come down here, like that. Another one right there. Another one right there. And we got this front side here. Set this down real quick. I'm gonna lay this down here. Like that. See if I can get a nice zoom in for you. There. Right. Now, got this little plate here, a little notch in it. It's like locks the bolts in where they need to be. Got this little contraption here, the bolt, this little round disc, riveted, can spin, and this spring. When I had taken it out originally, the hook on the spring was actually facing towards the case, not this way, but this way. First things first, we can successfully do this. This notch actually can be facing downwards, hooking in this way. And then that notch that's in this delivery tube, move it a little bit. Yep, fits. There's a notch all the way around this shift shaft. There's a notch in that delivery tube. This sits in the notch, the belly of this plate sits inside the shift shaft, and the end of it goes into that little groove of the oil delivery tube. And then this little guy plate right here, so it's cut out part. Ooh, still in the same place. Yeah, looks like we're good. It's gonna sit like that. We got 2 bolts. Go down inside here, like so. Those will be 8 millimeters. Alright. That actually just locks the shift shaft into place. Also locks in the oil delivery tube and guide rail. So it doesn't pull out and fall out. So it's going to kind of look like that, with your shift forks in there. Alright. There we go. Should give you guys the best view. So then we got this guy right here. So we're going to have the rivet point facing downwards, this little plate sticking upwards, with the spring hooked downward, hooked into it there. The other side of the hook on the spring is going to hook into that little notch right there. Let's see how this goes. Then this little washer type plate is going to fit into the groove inside of the shift shaft. Let's see if we can get that in there. Figured it would be a little tricky getting it in there. Alright. Inside hooked. Just gonna have to push on that and stretch that spring a little bit to get that into position. Let's see. Let me find the best way of doing it. Try to. Ooh, I don't like it. Okay, got it. I believe that guy is going to be 12 millimeter. I'm just gonna snug them in there for now. I'd have to double check on torque specs. I'll have to find that somewhere. Boy, I should have found out what they were before I started doing this. But I'm just barely tightening them in there. There. Now that those are in there, and that's that, we take and see how everything works. Let's see if I can zoom you guys back out. There we go. There. Let's see. Sweet.